So how long have we been working together, Sheila?
Um, since right after Thanksgiving.
Okay, right after Thanksgiving. And we went through Thanksgiving and we've gone through Christmas. And overall, you've had incredible immediate success, right?
Yeah.
And then Christmas, we talked right after Christmas. And you said, "Oh, I gave myself, I did overeat and and we talked about, that diet mentality thinking that, oh, I'll fix it after the Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Am I leaving out any details from our last session?
And then at Christmas, I was really feeling like I was letting people down or not fulfilling the role that I've always played as being the person who loves the food and I love your cooking and I love this dish and that dish and I mean I do absolutely love food and I feel like it's kind of my role to that is how I kind of I don't know.
It's your love language. That's how you.
It's my love language with even communicating with family. It's so crazy.
Yeah, yes, and I remember we talked about accepting food without having to eat it. And what had happened during the
Right.
holidays is people give you food because they know you absolutely love it. So they would home make certain things to give to you because they knew it would bring you joy. And you would you felt as if you were obligated to eat it to receive that love from them. And
Exactly.
we had talked about how do you receive love with food with without eating it in a way that's not offensive or rejecting the food that you've received, right?
Right, exactly. And I learned so much about the the role that I play, and that it doesn't have to be me eating it. It can be taking it home or taking some on a plate. Or we talked about I love this so much. Hungry right now, but I want to savor this. So can I please have some for later or
Yeah,
whatever?
can I take
Which is
some
just as
home?
good as yeah.
And that for you was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even consider that. I just forced myself to eat. And that's where the struggle was during the holidays.
That's exactly right. I didn't even consider the fact that I wouldn't have to eat it right then and there.
Yeah, I know. That's a common struggle I think a lot of people have, especially when they live with family and friends, that food has become such an important part of their communication, right? Of love
Yeah,
and care.
exactly.
And you fix that food for me, and now they're looking at you to eat it. And even in that situation, you've got to be willing to say, oh my gosh, I am so excited. Can I take this with me? And most people will look at you and go, of course. And they'll wrap it up for you and be like, here you
Right,
go, right?
right.
But if you say, yeah, no, I'm not hungry, and you leave it at that, they're going to go, what? I made this for you. I made this for you.
Right, and just the simple fact of I'm not hungry. It is truly in my family. That would be just simply offensive.
Yep, and you know that. So you've got to find a way to work around it.
Right,
So
right.
if you were
So
to
that was
say,
awesome learning for me.
awesome. So we left you with, okay, even if you feel bloated or even if you felt like after the holidays you really did it, refrain from correcting it. I mean the physical component. Refrain from the irritability that you feel when you're getting puffy or large. That's kind of like having withdrawals from the skinny
Mm,
addiction. We had said just focus on being true to eating to hunger. Be honest with yourself. If you're not hungry, even if someone gives it to you with love and care, be honest with yourself and be willing to honor your body because you love it, right? And
right.
so um, you have been very much so focused only on eat what's pleasurable, eat what you want, eat what's realistic, but make sure that in any given circumstance, if there is no hunger, the answer is no. Once hunger is gone, the answer is stop. You can put it away for later and tell me how you did.
I did well. I mean, yeah, I did like crazy things, like went through the drive-through, and I was out and about shopping, and I was going to be hungry because, Robin, I do a little bit of thing that I've had to go through is I don't get hungry very often. And it's kind of a little bit disappointing because, I mean, I love to eat, but I just don't get hungry very often. So when I do, so I was out and about shopping the other day, I knew I was going to get hungry, and I didn't have anything in the car. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go through the drive-thru at Culver's Love Culver's anyways. And I got a hamburger, and I was so excited, and I only ate like half of it, and I threw it.
Tell me, okay, so you went through your favorite fast food. Mm-hmm. It's not just like chain, it is a chain, but it's a local, like butter burger, delicious fast food place, American fast food. So it's burgers and custard, and they do some, like their custard specialty, butter burger, stuff like that. Anyway, so you actually went through, spent the extra money, had some of it, stopped. Normally you would have eaten the whole thing. First of all, you would have binged because you would have felt bad about it prior, right?
Of course. And I probably would have got fries and custard and the whole, like a whole meal.
And then you probably, the other thing, do you agree that you might have said to yourself, you would have eaten the whole thing thinking, well, I'm not going to get to eat for a really long time, so let's just eat all of it.
Exactly right.
Yeah, if you didn't feel bad, it's usually trying to compensate for some idea of how long it'll be. So you're not eating based on the present moment of your body sensations. You're eating based on your fear of hunger in the future.
Exactly.
So you stayed present. You said, look, I'm done. This is probably not going to be good cold or reheated. So let's just toss it. I spent the money anyways. I don't have to spend the money and get full and have physical problems too.
Right.
Anyway, so how did that feel to do that?
Yeah, so I just wrapped it up and threw it like kind of on the floor on the passenger side, like because I knew like exactly right. I'm not going to reheat that, know. But before, you're right. I would have ordered everything, ate everything, got sick. But even going through the drive, I didn't even get the other things because I've learned that hunger is not very big. I mean, I can't have a really big portion. Like I probably can't even eat a whole hamburger and fries and whatever without being sick. So my portion size is so low, which a little bit of that is hard for me too, Robin, because I'm so used to eating a lot, and now it's just a little. I mean, I enjoy it, but I kind of miss the. It's both. I mean, I miss eating a lot, but I don't miss feeling that feeling of being sick. So it's like, it's good.
And because
I felt proud of myself after that. After I did that, I felt so proud of myself.
Well, do you see that it's not pride because you followed a program? It's pride because you were guided by your own system and by your own integrity and desire to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're having to have this motivation outside of yourself to do it, which is the weight part. It's completely within your own integrity. That is so incredibly important in terms of real life change.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Okay, so let me
Exactly. I did that on my own. I wasn't on the plan. I didn't follow anything. I didn't measure anything.
And there's no carrot. And this is the key. Yes. So everything was based on this intrinsic system built into your body, right? But the most important part of this is that you did it because you wanted to, not because there's a reward somewhere.
Right.
You did it because that's what you really want to do. Does that make sense? If it was a diet, you would have only done that because you believe you're going to get rewarded with weight or with this smaller size. The reward in eating this way, even though the sacrifice is you're not eating a ton, the reward is that you physically feel better.
Right.
That is the reward. And you want to feel physically better, correct?
Correct.
So do you see that once you experience this, and it is physically guided with the body you have, it's not some guide outside of yourself, and it's actually brought to fruition because you want it to be that way. That it's yours. It's not mine. It's not me as your guide saying you need to eat to hunger. It's you wanting to do it. So you have all the power. You have all the responsibility. How does it feel to take responsibility and to do it because you want to? Is it hard?
No.
I know.
It's not hard. It's not stressful. It's not.
Does it take self-discipline?
There's no fear of failure. That's the thing. On every other diet, it was like, when am I going to fall off? When am I going to fail? You know, with this.
Can I handle it?
A fail insight. Right.
Can I handle it? Oh my God, I have to avoid. I need support.
Yeah.
Sheila, do you need support?
There's no fear of falling off the wagon. There's no fear of me backsliding. Because
it's based around your physical sensation and your desire. So it doesn't it's not based on getting some reward. So it's completely built into your own system. It's like when someone realizes, I want to brush my teeth, so I'm going to brush my teeth. Right? It's like when my daughter decides, oh my gosh, I really like reading. Do I need to coerce her into reading when she finds a book that she likes to read?
Right, exactly. No, yeah. Exactly.
It's like you've learned to enjoy this. You've learned to realize you have the skills for it. And do you see yourself quitting?
I do not see myself quitting for the first time ever, and I don't feel like I feel myself starting anything ever.
Do you?
Like I'm done starting and I'm done quitting. I'm done with that.
Okay. Do you feel like? Do you need to get back on track? Do you need support and Does that make any sense? Okay.
I do not need to get back on track.
Right? Because don't you agree, once you learn this, the track is yours. It's not this program's track.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to get on. Exactly right. There's no path that I need to be on.
And is there anything at this point that makes you vulnerable to choosing to get off of this track? I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything. Well, the only thing at this point would be your addiction. What if you start losing weight? What if you start losing weight?
Yeah.
What is going to happen if you start losing weight? Are you going to start managing this, removing foods, eliminating that fast food that you find so delicious just to maintain or to keep it going?
So, Robin, right now I'd say now, but I mean, I guess you just got to try it, right? I mean,
well, you need to be very conscious before it happens of if it's worth going back into the get on track diet mentality.
Yeah.
If your body starts to naturally lose body fat on its own just because you've now learned how to listen to its biological rhythms, if it starts to lose weight, does that change anything?
I don't think it changes anything. Really. It doesn't. I mean, I'm starting to get that it doesn't matter if I'm wearing a size 14 or a size 8. It really doesn't matter. I'm still going to have the same amount of fun, right?
You got it. Well, well, think of it this way. Does the freedom that you felt and the freedom that you feel and the confidence that you have in what you're doing, do those feelings change if you're a size 14 compared to an 8?
No, because I haven't changed since November. I mean, I'm the same, right, since we started talking. And I feel like a whole different person. I mean, I feel way more fun because I'm having more fun. And it has nothing to do with anybody around me, which before it felt like that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
What everybody around me thought. And now all of a sudden I'm feeling like, you know what? This is really fun, and not that I don't think twice about what people think of me, because I probably will always have a bit of that. It's nothing like before. I mean, I have been, having so much fun and enjoying life and being mindful of things and thankful of things and just like having fun. Yeah, it's so awesome.
So I want you to think, well, I know. And part of that too is that you don't have the pressure or the anxiety or the brain hijacking that you're being thin or your body image is a true threat to survival anymore. You no longer feel that it's a threat to your survival. Even if someone were to look at you and say, hey, look at you, you're fat. You'd go, that's right. Right? Because you realize that dieting is the threat. Removing food and moralizing food is dangerous.
Yeah.
So when you flip those two dangers, when one you thought was your safety and in reality is your danger, and the reality of the body is that your body is your safety, it's the diets, right? When you flip those two around, you now have freedom from shame, you have freedom from food, guilt, and shame. You have freedom from having to micromanage everything in fear. All the anxiety that you carried around, you'll also notice too that once you let that go, that you are no longer as sensitive to feeling stressed. So what you used to probably feel really stressed a lot. You don't feel as stressed. You probably seem and feel more relaxed. The other thing you should start noticing is your energy is significantly better, and you overall feel, just in general, feel better. Even though your body fat has, for the most part, stayed the same.
Yeah.
And you're eating, if you really look at it, are you eating healthy? Relative to the diet food mongers and the food religion or food zealots, are you eating healthy?
Oh, gosh, no.
No, but do you feel healthier?
I feel so much healthier. Yeah.
With the body fat.
I am not. Yeah.
Some people would say, but don't you think she needs to lose weight for health? Remember, that requires that you go back to dieting.
Right.
Think about when someone says, do you need to lose weight for health? Well, that infers you are going to diet, which is super unhealthy. Psychologically, you're inflaming the brain, and just in the fact that you have to micromanage your food and reduce food and starve your system. That causes inflammation just in the beliefs. So what's healthier, dieting or being free and having the body fat? What's your experience? Were you healthier before?
Oh gosh, no. Because it was a lot of health food. I mean, I ate a ton more fruits and vegetables, but I ate like way more. I mean, the binging after those little episodes of fruits and vegetables, and that kind of
and the inflammation in the fight or flight area of the brain that you're signing up for. So yeah, you're far more healthy today. I want to go back to the question I said though. Size 14 versus size 8.
Robin, I can't hear you.
I want to go back to the question I had said. I said the pleasure you have in eating to hunger and the pleasure you had. Hold on, my dog wants out. Hold on. The pleasure you had eating to hunger and eating pleasurably and feeling confident in the skills of just wanting to eat that way and enjoying the food and not being controlled by anything, right? That's where you said I just had so much pride. Would that pride in that ability change if you were a size 8 versus a size 14?
No.
It doesn't, does it? Because it doesn't.
No.
It's not a matter of body size, is it? The ability to do it now is no different than the ability you would have to do it at size 6.
Right.
Right. So if you lose 40 pounds, is that going to change anything?
Absolutely not. I mean, I can't see that it would.
Well, what if the problem occurs when you start to lose that weight and you see it as a gain. like the ego gain, it's better than. What happens then is if you're afraid to lose the weight loss, meaning if you're afraid to gain it back, you'll start to diet again, and that fight or flight area is going to inflame again. And what happens to your sensitivity to binge again? And the anxiety and the pressure and I have to be perfect because I can't gain this weight back. What happens to your eating behavior if you leave the body biology as your security? You're going to binge again.
Yeah.
So that's truly, it's like if you can just stay focused on, I will eat to hunger and I will eat pleasurably and I will be honest about it. No matter what happens to my body, you're free. You're free.
Right.
What happens if someone says to you, oh my God, Sheila, you're so gorgeous. Look at you. You lost so much weight. Look at your, oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, right now I feel like I would like laugh. Like,
yeah, but they honestly worship the thin body, and you're matching their God. You like all of a sudden are like so successful.
Right.
What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's I can, yeah. Robin, I think it's hard. I mean, I think it's a slippery slope, right?
Well, it is if you care. It is if you like, oh my gosh, I have to maintain this. I have to work on this. All of a sudden, you no longer have the freedom to eat the way that got you there.
Yeah.
So really, it's not a slippery slope. It only is if you care about what they think of you, right?
Right.
So if they say, oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration, you should say, I just eat when I'm hungry and I eat a variety of food and I don't diet and I don't worry about the way how much fat I have. So I don't even monitor my weight. So yeah, human physiology, yay. Right?
Yeah.
And then you say, I worked with someone with that because I had an eating disorder before and I had a very insane body image complex. So that's what I got rid of. And if you want the same, you might want to call this person, right? Schedule a consultation. Robin works all around the world.
Yeah.
So when you've got to put yourself in those situations in your mind, because that is potentially, if you get high off of the I'm thin, that was your addiction.
Yep.
You'll get back into the dieting because you'll feel like you have to defend the body's physique.
Right.
I'm going to start exercising more. And then all of a sudden you're going to start having issues. You're going to start noticing you struggle eating to hunger now. And that you're trying to eliminate food because you want to try to make your body fat drop at a faster rate. So that's the vulnerability.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yep. No, I hear you. And I remember, losing weight and just really like gloating on, what people said and the looks and all that stuff. But then the guilt was just horrific. And then not even wanting to go to see people again at, 20, 30 pounds added onto it. Because it was like just, it was so devastating.
Well, would you ever suggest,
failure,
Tell me this, would you ever suggest that people use their weight and size and as motivation and to post pictures of themselves and post pictures of their healthy food? Would you suggest that to someone?
Absolutely not.
Because, right, that means that the pressure then to defend it increases significantly, right? Because they've actually projected this pride to the public.
Right.
Right. So then what happens when they start to, right, the inflammatory response, their daughter has a birthday party, they have a cupcake, right? What happens then is if they slip back into the feeding component of the survival part, is they're going to gain weight, and then how do they feel in public? They feel shame. It's like I discussed the if you take pride in the body image, get ready for shame when it goes away. Because you're going to have a belief or a feeling of loss, like you lost something, where before you lost that weight, you didn't feel that bad. Once you lose the weight and gain it back, you feel worse.
Yeah,
so that actually makes your behavior with food worse too, which is how that snowballs and vortexes people into binge eating, dieting obsession. People who gain weight back tend to isolate themselves. They are afraid to expose that they are failures to the people that they use themselves for pride. It's like you feel ashamed and you're embarrassed about the way you look. And it's very difficult to just go out in public and say, the truth is that the way I lost the weight messed me up. It was not okay. You worshipped my results, but what you didn't know is that the way I lost that weight was through obsessive compulsive diet, food obsession, and excessive exercise.
Right.
People don't see the method, they just see the result. Right?
Right.
They don't see that the method, the way you lost, for many people is the method for how they gain. And the crazy thing, and this is why you feel so free right now, is because the method that you're using isn't outside of yourself. It's actually inside your own physiology and your own desires. So where's the vulnerability now? There is none.
There is none, yeah. There is no vulnerability now, yeah.
And that is why it feels so good. It is yours. It's you. It's nothing else. And you don't need a reward. So you're not doing this only because you want reward in weight loss. You're doing this because this is the way you like to do it, no matter what you weigh. Even if you lose weight, you're not going to stop. What happens if you gain 5 pounds this month?
Absolutely nothing.
I know, right? Well, here's the thing. You've been doing this long enough, right?
Yeah.
That you gave yourself the lenience to figure it out. And now that you figured it out, you can tell that you're more accurate in responding to the body and you feel physically better. So, and the freedom from ever having to obsess and micromanage and to fix and to give yourself too much leniency and then having to fix the leniency. It's like it's over.
Right.
Amazing.
I know. It is amazing. And you know what I've been doing lately too is what we talked about last week. You said, picture yourself this summer out at the lake or whatever. And I have been doing that in my head, picturing myself on a bike trip or in Europe or on the beach. I mean, I've been putting myself at this weight, at this size, in that situation, and thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun, which I've never done before. I've always not even went to that place and kind of like was hesitant whenever there was a trip coming up or skiing or blah, blah, blah. And I was so focused on, I can't do it at this weight, I have to, and I was just consumed by the fact of not picturing myself at my weight, but having to work really hard to get down there. And then going on the trip anyway, right, at the weight that I was, and it being miserable.
Yeah, and feeling and binging the whole time.
And feeling like a failure. Like, of course, I failed every single setup, right? It
was life, literally life defining, and it was, don't you agree, it was just a leech to real life.
A leech.
Yeah. So
right,
once you...
And a leech to happiness and enjoying, all that. So, yes, I've been picturing myself in this next coming year, the fun things that I'm going to do. Even if I don't lose a pound, it is going to be a great year.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Now, when you contacted me in November, would you have said you were ready to be checked into a rehab clinic? I mean, consider just the state you were in once you finally decided I got to work with Robin.
Yeah, so when I first talked to you, I just didn't know where to turn. I just felt so like hopeless. Like I cannot fail one more time.
You mean a diet?
I am so done with dieting, and I gotta fix this because I remember thinking HCG, just even HCG, and doing the 10 weeks with you, and you said, well, what do you want? Because if you want weight loss, then do this. But if you want to figure out this eating thing and be done with this whole rigmarole, sign up with me. Let's do it. And I was like, oh, yes.
Would you have ever?
I want to do it.
Would you have ever thought that it was, first of all, this would be the result, and it would happen? What are we on? Session 6 of 10? Session 7?
It's amazing. But I felt it right away too, like
the first session.
The first session, I walked out of there like done with all of this.
Yeah, but you were ready, right?
Up a protein shake in my life ever again.
I know it. And don't you agree though that the follow-up has been really important too, because it kind of keeps you. I'm just here to say, hey, make it turn right. Maybe you want to turn back left. Let's think about how that happened. I'm just helping you learn it. I'm not taking away from your learning curve or telling you what you have to learn. I'm just helping you figure it out in the presence of where you're at.
Right. And and I don't want these sessions to be over either, I wonder how dependent I am on your words.
I don't know. I think you're getting it, and that's the thing. That's usually the case where it's like these sessions do spread out, because it's like, okay, I don't know if you really need me to help you see your boundaries. I think you now have a sense of the boundary. Let's go out and live with that sense, and then let's talk in a month. How do you feel? What's going on? Did you have stress? How did you just respond to the stress? So actually, I just end up being someone that you just are bouncing things off of. I'm not telling you what to do. Because the goal is that you are completely independent. That you are no longer in most areas. Agree? Don't you think this has not just affected your relationship with food, but it's also affected, again, like your relationship with your life. Going to the cabin, going and traveling, how you feel with your husband, how you talk to your children. It even affects how you look at other people. Right? So...
And there is so much more than food. That's the thing that just I kept coming back to. And
well, you realize you wouldn't have known that it wasn't about food, would you have? No, that's because everybody tells you it's the food. That's the diet. That's how you stay in the diet realm. That's how you stay in a need for a diet. That's why they have all of these recycling programs, because the goal is that you don't really you're never made to be accountable for your beliefs. That's too much work for a diet to consider. It's just about your body fat, and you hate it. We all hate it. So let's fix it for you. And it's really the food's fault.
Right.
The food is bad.
Yeah.
Your lack of exercise is bad. It's the exercise you're doing is wrong. So there's no responsibility. Oh, you're genetically predisposed to overeat. It's not your fault. You have no responsibility. And all I did was say, you have all the responsibility, and if you want to fix this, we're going to have to find a way that works for you. So let's get it done. Well, congratulations. Do you have anything you want to say to the people that are listening to this video?
If you are struggling, and if you think it is even close to being about the food, call Robin.
Okay, say that one more time. It was muffled. Say it again.
Oh, what's that?
For some reason, the sound was all like muffled. Say it again. What did you say?
So if you're out there and you're thinking that it's even partly about the food, it is not about the food at all. Talk to Robin.
Schedule a consult. Let's get it over with.
Yes.
I know it. It's so true. So true. All right, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you for letting me share this.